Hey guys, how's it going? It's Millsy 1995 2012 here to give you a new video series. Now, I'm just going to say it straight away. If you're a WWE subscriber on my channel and if you've come onto this video, sorry to say this will not be WWE related. This is something brand new I'm going to do, completely off WWE topic, but I thought I'd do, since the NRL season has restarted, National Rugby League, I thought after every round, I would just go through that round and basically just discuss the high points, the low points, and pretty much everything in between. It won't be long, it'll only be like 10 to 15 minutes, and it'll just be me talking about stuff that happened, my opinions of certain stuff, and just quickly going through the results. So I will say it will be difficult to get this series up and running, so if you're an avid watcher of the NRL and if you know other people that do, if you could share it or just anything like that just to get a few more views up and get it started, that would be greatly appreciated. I think that's all I think that's all I have to say. So let's get into it. Round one. We started on Thursday night, which looks like that's going to become a tradition from now on. And speaking of tradition, South Sydney Rabbitohs versus the Sydney Roosters, and I was quite surprised by this game. Especially by not necessarily the result. I did actually pick South Sydney to win, but by the margin they won, 28-8. That's a pretty convincing win, especially against the Premiers from 2013. So all is looking good for the Rabbitohs at the moment. I thought there were a few times where they were a bit meh, especially at the start of the game, but they did fix that, and I thought they were easily the better team. So it looks like they're gonna have a strong season ahead of them. I'm not a Rabbitohs fan. I never have been, but I must say I would like to see him win the premiership, purely for nostalgic reasons. I just reckon it'd be great for the game as well to finally have him win the premiership after a 42-year drought or something like that. So yeah, that's looking good for the Rabbitohs. As for the Roosters, yes, they did lose for 20 points, but I don't think they're in a lot of trouble, because they had a pretty busy off season because a lot of the players would have been in the World Cup. They had the World Cup Challenge, so they had a busy off season. They didn't have a lot of time just to relax and shit. So I can understand they may be a bit off their game at first. So I don't think there's too much to worry about if you're a Roosters fan. And getting to Friday night, and you should know it's Friday night because fucking Brisbane Broncos are playing like they do every freaking Friday night. Just warning you, I absolutely hate the Brisbane Broncos, so if you're a Broncos fan, sorry. They went up against the Bulldogs and Broncos were victorious 18-12. This game wasn't too bad. I'm not the biggest fan of the Bulldogs either, so I didn't really care about this match all that much, but the Broncos did look good, I must say. Whether they can continue that momentum and be a threat for the premiership, I don't know. I personally don't think so, and that's being unbiased. I just don't think they'll be in the hunt for the premiership. I don't know why, but I just don't see it happening. And the Bulldogs, after that performance, definitely not. They were pretty ordinary at times. Alright, getting into Saturday Arvo. First game was it was Panthers versus the Knights. And this one was quite extraordinary. I think the scoreline may confuse a few people a bit because the Knights weren't actually that bad. They were very unlucky with their injury toll, especially in the key positions. Like they lost Boyd very early on. They lost Gidley, and I feel so sorry for Kurt Gidley. It seems every time he steps onto a rugby league field, he gets injured. Then they also lost Tyrone Roberts. Apparently he's alright. But to lose like the key playmakers, especially with those players' capabilities, really hurt the Knights, and as a result the Panthers just were too good in the end. They just run all over them. And that's taken nothing away from Penrith. I thought they were very good this game, and I think they are going to have a very strong year. I think that they'll be in the finals for sure. Yeah, as for the Knights, I think it's the same with the Roosters. They don't have a hell of a lot to worry about. It's just the fact that they had so many injuries that in the end they really couldn't help it all that much. If there's one thing they could help, probably the error count. That was way too high. You're never going to win a game by making that many errors. So. Getting into the next game, we had Manly versus Melbourne. This was, in my opinion, the game of the round. It's what you would expect from these two. It's definitely the most significant rivalry of the last 10 years, you'd have to say. So many amazing moments when these two teams play, and this one was no exception. I thought this was a really good game. Came down to extra point. Cameron Smith kicked the first field goal of his career, which is a bit surprising, but you know. So good game. I don't think any of the teams were horrible. I don't think they were overly great either. I thought they were kind of mixed. At times there was some brilliance, but for the most part, just pretty average. But like both those teams are full of star players, and I think you can count on both of them being in the final series as well. And getting into the last game on Saturday night, we had Cowboys versus the Raiders. It was really surprising the way the Raiders started. They, what was it, 16-0? And it took the class of Jonathan Thurston to actually get the Cowboys back into the game, and I got to commend Jonathan Thurston for that. He was great. He stepped up when the Cowboys most needed him, and I'd say his performance was probably the best individual performance out of anyone in this entire round. So kudos to Jonathan Thurston for that. As for the Cowboys, I don't know where they'll be. I think lots of people have them pretty high. I kind of do. I don't have that high of expectations as what everyone else does, but I still think they will make the finals. As for the Raiders, I think, yeah, we already saw what Ricky Stewart did to one club. Let's just wait and see what he does to Canberra. Yeah, I don't know where they're going to be. Canberra is like the Warriors. You don't know what's going to happen. They can be brilliant one week and absolutely shit house the next. So I don't know where Canberra's going to be. They're too hard to predict. And getting into Sunday, we had the West Tigers versus St. George Illawarra Dragons. This game wasn't all that surprising as far as the result. I did expect Dragons to win, but when it comes down to the end of season, I don't really see any of these teams playing a significant role. I don't think either of these teams were spectacular in this game, and I think that just shows what's going to happen later in the year. I guess congratulations to the Dragons for starting off well, but I still don't see much hope for them. I'm sorry if you're a Dragons supporter, but that's just the way I see it. And getting into the next game, my favourite game, perhaps because I'm an Eels supporter, but, the Eels versus the Warriors, and Eels got off to a good start, 36-16 winners, and of course that's exactly what happened last year, and they went absolutely shithouse. But I don't know, and this is me being unbiased, I actually think the Eels will go pretty well this year. Will they make the finals? I don't know. I think they may just miss out, but they showed good signs during this match. Especially the two wingers. How do you pronounce his name? I can't even pronounce his name. But both the wingers, they scored hat-tricks and both played really well. Will Hopewadi, I was really impressed with him. He I knew when Parramatta signed him, I was like, oh hell yeah, this is gonna be good, and he lived up to my expectations. I thought he was really well. And another player, I thought, Luke Kelly, a player that I've had mixed feelings towards. When I first saw him, I didn't think that highly of him, but he's grown on me. I still don't think he's like one of the best halfbacks in the world by any means, but he's improving his game, and a lot. He's improved a lot since last year, that's for sure. And hopefully he continues his good form. As for the Warriors, like I said with Canberra, they're all over the joint. Like, one week they're good, the other week they're not. I do like the Warriors mainly for their style of play, and it'll be really exciting to see Sam Tompkins and Shaun Johnson, their combination. I think that could produce some of the best footy we've ever seen. As for now, I just don't know what to think of them, because they're so topsy-turvy. So getting into the final game of the round, which just ended, it was Gold Coast Titans versus the Cronulla Sharks, and Gold Coast were victorious 18-12. I didn't watch this game. I didn't really care all that much. I actually did pick the Titans to win, because I see all these people thinking, oh, the Sharks are still going to go well this year no matter what, but I don't see it. Like, yes, they had off-field issues last year, but that was nothing in comparison to what they have now, and I just don't think they can. I just don't think they can get past it and produce on the field like they did last year. I don't see it. I don't see why people think they're going to go so well. And tonight was evidence. Like I said, I didn't watch the match. I don't know if they played well in defeat or they were absolutely shithouse. But things are not looking good for Cronulla, both on and off the field. That's the way I see it. So yeah, that's the end of my video. I might post predictions like on Thursday night. I guess it depends how this series goes, and if people jump on it and enjoy it, then I might do predictions. But as for now, I'm not going to. So yeah, like I said, please share, pass this video around, please help it get over a little bit, because I will greatly appreciate it, and it has to be put over, because otherwise it will be a waste of time. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the vid, and yeah, I'll see you next week. So later, everybody.